Imagine this, a teacher from India builds an education company so big that celebrities promote it, the Indian cricket team wears its logo, and the company becomes worth more than many famous global brands.
Byjus has been valued at a staggering $10.5 billion.
Now imagine the same company getting dragged into court cases across countries, facing massive debt, and its founder being sentenced to jail by a Singapore court. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this is exactly what happened with Byjus. Today we are breaking down how Byjus became India's largest startup success story, what mistakes destroyed the company, why founder Byju Raveendran is facing legal troubles, and the big lesson every startup founder and student should learn from this collapse. This story is much deeper than company failed. Before all controversy, Byju Raveendran was actually seen as an inspiration. He was a teacher from Kerala who became famous for simplifying complicated exam concepts for students. People loved his teaching style. Think about this. In India, education is emotional. Parents will sacrifice almost anything for their children's future, and Byju understands that perfectly. So in 2011, he launched Byju's learning app under Think and Learn Private Limited. At first, the idea looked revolutionary. Why go to coaching centers when students can learn from home using animation and technology? And honestly, during that time, it really worked. Millions of students joined. Then came COVID, and this changed everything. Schools closed, students stayed home, online learning exploded. Suddenly, Byjus became the king of EdTech. The company grew insanely fast. They started huge advertisements, celebrity endorsement, aggressive marketing, international expansion, and expensive acquisitions. They bought companies like Akash, Great Learning, Epic, and many others. Now pause here for a second. This is where an important question comes in. Was Byjus growing because the business was truly profitable, or because investors kept pouring money into it? The difference matters a lot because many startups look successful from outside, while internally they are burning massive amounts of cash. And that's exactly where the problem started. Byju's growth was becoming dependent on heavy spending, debt, and constant expansion. Imagine a person earning 1 lakh rupees but spending 5 lakh rupees every month just to look successful. Eventually, what happens? The system collapses. That's what many analysts believe happened with Byjus. The company reportedly relied heavily on aggressive sales tactics, expensive acquisitions, and loans. One of the biggest loans was around $1.2 billion from overseas lenders. Now here is the dangerous part. During the pandemic, online education demand was massive. But once schools reopened, growth slowed down. Revenue slowed, but expenses stayed huge. And then investors started asking difficult questions. Questions like, where is the profitability? Why are financial reports delayed? Where is the money going? And once investors lose confidence, everything starts falling apart very quickly. Soon the company started facing lawsuits, payment disputes, insolvency proceedings, and international legal battles. Even the BCCI sponsorship issue became a huge controversy. Think about how serious this became. A company once sponsoring the Indian cricket team was now struggling with unpaid dues. That shocked many people, but the biggest twist comes from Singapore. Now many viewers are confused here. Why Singapore? Isn't Byjus an Indian company? Good question. See, many international investments and company structures were connected through Singapore, so several legal disputes were handled there. According to reports, a Singapore court ordered Byju Raveendran to disclose assets, provide ownership documents, and cooperate with court directions. But the court later said he failed to comply properly, and this is very important. He was not jailed because the company failed. He was sentenced for contempt of court, meaning the court believed he did not follow legal orders. This is a completely different thing. In May 2026, a report said a Singapore court sentenced Byju Raveendran to 6 months in jail, ordered him to surrender, pay around 90,000 Singaporean dollars in legal costs, and submit ownership documents. Now another important point, and Byju Raveendran also responded publicly. He claimed the issue was being presented in one side and said he planned to appeal the ruling. Now let's be honest here. the story is not only about one founder, it's about modern startup culture itself. Today, many startups are valued based on growth, hype, funding, and marketing. But eventually, reality catches up. A company cannot survive forever only on the investment money. At some points, profit matters, governance matters, financial discipline matters, and transparency matters. And another thing, Indian startup ecosystem also learned a painful lesson. Fast growth without strong foundations can become dangerous because when times are good, everyone celebrates. But when problems begin, investors, courts, lenders, and regulators all starts asking questions together, and that pressure can destroy even billion-dollar companies. The rise of Byjus was historic, but its collapse became equally historic. From classrooms to billion-dollar valuation to international courtrooms, this story shows how quickly success can change. Now, the future of Byjus and Byju Raveendran himself depends heavily on legal outcomes, debt settlements, investor confidence, and whether the company can rebuild test. But one question still remains. Was Byju simply a victim of overexpansion, or was this collapse inevitable from the beginning? Comment your opinion below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, like the video, share it with someone who thinks big valuation always means successful business. Because this story proves these two things are not always the same. See you in the next video.